What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 4 weeks of physique update of Spin Pro champion William Bonac. So that is an insane amount of density and muscle maturity right there. And that was the deciding factor between him and Barros Tabani at Arnold Classic Spain. So the man is looking harder and drier here compared to 2 weeks out of the show. So do not be surprised if William Bonac surpasses his Spin Pro package here in Portugal Pro this weekend. And I have to say it is so unbelievable that William Bonac is beating guys at the age of 42 years old when almost everyone had counted him out. Because the thing is, this might very well be his last year in the men's open bodybuilding as a comparative bodybuilder. He's at such a late stage of his career, and we had either Michael Crizo or Barros Tabani winning Arnold Classic Spain, but Bonac just proved everyone wrong, and credit must be given to his coach Stefan. It's never easy to pick an athlete who is at the tail end of his career, but he did such a wonderful job at picking him right. So William Bonac made his Olympia debut back in 2014, and regardless of whether he wins here in Portugal or not, he's gonna be stepping on the Olympia stage this year again. And this might very well be his last time on the big stage. And I think we can all agree he had such a great run. If I'm not mistaken, he skipped just one Olympia in the last 10 years, and that was the Olympia last year. And that wasn't because he was unable to qualify, he just took the whole year off. So Bonac is most probably gonna be on again here for Portugal, and his biggest competitor, who is gonna be Nathan De Asha. He has to bring an even better package than what we saw this past weekend at Flex Pro Italy, where he actually lost to Barros Tabani. And interestingly, both these athletes are being coached by the same guy, Stefan. So I think this is gonna be a great battle. At this point, we just need a physique update of the 2 times Texas Pro champion, going for his 3rd time, Andrew Jacked. So the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing was the last time we saw what him and his coach and his team around him have been working on throughout this past offseason. And I'm gonna keep on emphasizing that he looked extremely impressive there. He was bigger, rounder, and at the same time he still had all his amazing lines, which makes Andrew one of the most dangerous athletes in the men's open bodybuilding as of right now. So Andrew is fully logged in for this prep, and you can see he's pushing good amount of weight as well. So the most surprising thing for me was that Andrew is the one who chose not to do Dubai Pro, for whatever reason, because this was the one where he could have won $100,000, and that is a lot of money. And maybe he wanted to extend his off-season and have some more time in the improvement phase. But the thing is, these 2 shows, Dubai and Texas, they are just 2 weeks apart. So in my head, that did not really make any sense. But of course, these guys know better than me. They know which timeline is gonna be the best, when Andrew is gonna be 100% ready. So this is gonna be one of the most anticipated returns to the bodybuilding stage, because ever since Andrew came onto the scene, we kept on discussing that he needs to give his body some rest. He needs to take a break. He needs a real off-season, especially if he wants to grow those hamstrings, put some more density in his back, because only then he can be a title contender for the Olympia. Well, this time Andrew did all those things. He did not compete in any show after the Olympia last year. And if you guys remember, his name was actually announced in the list of the guys who were in for this year's Arnold, and not just Ohio, the UK one as well. And actually these guys also confirmed that they are doing this year's Arnold. But that was such a good decision by Andrew to skip this year's Arnold. And thankfully he did not do that, because the thing is, he would not have been able to make any significant improvements, especially in his side and his back shots, with such a little off-season time. So I am really pumped to see him back on the stage. Next up is the update of Ramon Dino. So Ramon had his foot on the gas all this time, since losing this year's Arnold, and losing that title to Wesley Wiesers. That might turn out to be a good thing at the end, because the thing is, now he will never underestimate his competition again. So he has been training hard, and he has been training heavy for weeks now, and that is gonna be the case all the way till this year's Mr. Olympia. So I think at this point we can say this with absolute certainty. And of course, Bumstead brings his all-time best look to the stage, which he intends to, and he has spoken about it multiple times. And the fact that he is looking so damn good this time, even in the offseason he was looking so good. So if the man brings his A game, I don't think anyone is gonna be able to beat him. It's gonna be almost impossible to dethrone. So Ramon was able to push him really hard last year. But the thing is, that was a crisp far from his personal best. He had a lot here, and that too at 10 weeks out of the Olympia. But still, I have to say, even though that first place, that seems locked at this point. But with the addition of Wesley Wiesers, I think the Olympia this year is gonna be so much exciting. Even that 2nd place spot between Wesley and Ramon, that is gonna be such a good rematch. So this might very well be Chris's last year as a classic physique competitor. And Ramon Dino will definitely like to set himself up as the next Mr. Olympia in Classic. In fact, it was all going according to their plan. It was all going in his favor until Fazi announced himself at this year's Arnold, and he just shocked everyone. So you don't see the former 212 Miss Olympia Shaun posting progress updates. But here is one for all of you guys. And according to Shaun, this is gonna be his first and last update, all the way till this year's Miss Olympia. And I have to say, damn, that is just mind-blowing for 14 weeks out of the show. So he wants the Olympia title back, and his actions speaks for themselves. So Shaun has been grounded since the Olympia last year. He has been putting his heart and soul into every single training session. He's pushing 100% to show up like the way he did in 2022, where we all know it was just all over the moment he walked out on that stage. He was that good back in 2022. So Shaun did one last year, but Shaun coming in with a bloated midsection and the standard gut, that played a huge role in his loss. So forget about the density that Corrida has, and just take a look at his stomach control right now, with that super small waist. And that is what Shaun was asked to do after the Olympia last year. And we all know, and Shaun also knows, that he isn't gonna be able to beat Shaun in terms of density and the muscle maturity. He has to expose Shaun in that symmetry round. So after watching this update from Shaun, the fight for the 212 is gonna be very interesting. Now still, it isn't gonna be easy to dethrone an improved version of Keon Pearson, but both of them at 100%. That is what we all wanna see. Lastly, we have a 14-week self-physique update of Samson Dauda. So he just posted this on his IG story, so I'm assuming it is a recent one. So these are the final few weeks of Samson pushing in the off-season. He's currently 340 pounds, which is really unbelievable, considering the condition he is at such a heavy weight. So Samson Dauda is most probably gonna be the biggest guy on the stage by a landslide. All he needs to do is come in more shredded, more detailed, than what we saw at this year's Arnold UK. So the back has improved a lot this year. The size seems to be on a whole different level. So all in all, his face post Arnold Classic UK, that has went extremely well for Samson. And it was so great for Samson that he did this year's Arnold UK, because he was able to bring a far more conditioned package compared to what we saw in Ohio. And that was a step in the right direction, and that is what the judges wanted to see from him. So when we say Samson needs to be in a bad condition, that only means he's gonna have to suffer like crazy for this one. Because if you have followed him for a while, that man was eating just 3 whole eggs for most part of his prep. So he's gonna have to reduce even that. He's gonna have to reduce the overall carbs intake, or maybe increase the cardio. So the fact that he's gonna prep for this year's Mr. Olympia in Kuwait at the Oxygen Gyms, that definitely adds more excitement to this year's Mr. Olympia. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.